Hello, I am Matt Gunter, the Bishop of the Diocese of Fond du Lac, the Episcopal Church in Northeast Wisconsin. Recently, I encouraged the people of the Diocese of Fond du Lac to adopt a rule of life, a 5-point guide to deepening our life in the life of God. I want to speak now about one of those rules, and that is fasting. Before I say positively what I think fasting might be about, let me say what it's not about. We do not fast because food and drink are bad and not to be enjoyed. And we do not fast because we think that by fasting somehow we will get God's attention and make God tend to what we want. No, those are not why we fast. Rather, we fast for a couple of reasons. One, classically, fasting has been a way of disciplining our body, learning self-control and self-denial, two concepts that show up regularly in the New Testament. Self-control is one of the fruit of the Spirit that Paul lists in Galatians 5. And in the book of Acts, when Paul is preaching the gospel to a Roman official, he highlights three aspects of the gospel. One is resurrection, another is judgment, and the third is self-control, suggesting that self-control is a pretty important theme in the New Testament. And fasting is a way of learning self-control. We go without food for a time, or some food for a time, to discipline that basic appetite of our stomach. Of course, there are lots of ways to fast beyond fasting from food. You can fast from anything, giving up almost anything for a season. But fasting from food is a basic kind of fast because the appetite of the stomach is our most basic appetite. So I've encouraged us to fast together on Wednesdays. Wednesdays being one of the two traditional fast days for Christians, Friday being the other. But for us, Wednesday is the middle of the week, and it seems a fitting time to stop and pay particular attention to God. So I encourage you to consider taking up a fast on Wednesdays. That fast can range from going without food altogether on Wednesday, to going without food until sundown, or to go without one meal. I usually fast during lunch. If going without food altogether for a meal or more is not an option for you for some reason, you can also fast by eating less or refraining from particular kinds of food, refraining from meat, refraining from sweets, or refraining from some other food or drink that you would particularly normally enjoy. The point is not the type of fast, but the learning of self-control. If we can learn self-control in that basic biological appetite for food and drink, then we might be able to learn self-discipline and self-control in our heart and our spirit, and learn to refrain from anger and malice, envy and enmity, impatience, self-absorption, pride, and other spiritual appetites that draw us from the love of God and the love of neighbor. Fasting also is a way to focus our attention on God. If you fast, or when you fast, during the day there will be times when you are reminded that you are hungry or you desire whatever it is you are going without. And in those moments, you can stop and remember that you do not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. And say a prayer. Give thanks for God's presence in your life. Give thanks that He fills you with all good things beyond filling of your stomach. And during that time that you fast, especially if you go without a meal, I suggest that you spend some time in prayer or reading scripture or some other devotional material. Set aside time to remember that God is present in your life. Exercise self-control of your appetite and learn again to focus on God in the middle of the week so that you can focus on God during the rest of the week as well. Thank you, and God bless.